Sawmill Theaters. How are you gentlemen doing this morning?
Super duper.
Super duper good.
Doing good. This is a start of our season.
Start of the season. That's
Summer
right.
blockbusters are officially here.
Hey, there we go. So, what movie shall we talk about first then?
I want to talk about Fall Guy.
Fall Guy. Oh,
Opening today.
How many of us loved watching The Fall Guy when we were younger? What, Steve Majors, wasn't that it?
Yes, yeah.
Steve Majors and, what's her name? Heather Locklear? Heather Locklear, I believe, in the original, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
No? Who was it? I forget. I'll look it up. But anyway.
Anyway, both of those are in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, they have cameos as police.
Well, I think then Heather has to be, because she wouldn't have a cameo if she wasn't in the original, I think.
That's correct. It's somebody else.
Oh. That's funny. No, that is released today? Comes out today?
Yep. Boy, I used to just be wildly in love with Heather Locklear.
Yeah, Heather Thomas.
Heather Thomas
was
is
the
the one that's in the movie. But
Yep.
Heather Locklear in the day was top notch in my book.
And Lee Majors, I'm sorry, not Steve Majors, Steve, yeah, I just made that up.
Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers,
Bionic Man.
Yeah, Steve, yeah.
Well, that's why it's hard to keep them all straight.
It
isn't
is, yeah, during that time, the Bionic Woman, Bionic Man, Fall Guy, Buck Rogers, they were all.
Hollywood's been threatening a new, not $1 Million Man, a $1 billion Man.
Yeah, because the $1 Million Man it'd be pretty underwhelming.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
They keep threatening, but they haven't got there yet.
I mean, the three of us here at the table probably know at least 4 people who would qualify as the $1 Million Man.
Yeah, and it just, if you look at medical expenses.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, I mean.
Oh, man, so, The Fall Guy, yeah, Lee Majors, Heather Thomas, you said they have, roles in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know if they're speaking roles or if they're just dressed up as cops standing in the background someplace.
Gotcha.
This one, we get to see this one in our journeys.
Yeah.
And this is a very good film. This is gonna be huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's a comedy, romance, action.
Got everything.
It's got everything on it. This is the guys who did Bullet Train are tied in this, so you think about the action that you had in Bullet Train.
Mm-hmm.
This one's a PG-13 though, so we got that going.
Nice.
But yeah, like I said, comedy, Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling, great film.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the on-screen chemistry between Gosling and Blunt is incendiary.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be good.
Mm,
It's no fun when the leading lady and the leading man obviously don't care for each other.
No.
Have to do the smoocher scenes.
Yeah, and it's like a stretch, and you're kind of like, this doesn't seem too legit.
She doesn't like him at all, does she? You can tell.
So, The Fall Guy, coming out today. What are the show times on that, Craig?
1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 7 o'clock.
Nice.
And this, Craig mentioned the dawn of the blockbusters for this year, and this is a serious, great, big movie. 130 million bucks to make it, and there's Blunt and Gosling are the only famous people in it. In big roles. Jason Momoa is in it too, but he's only in it for about a minute, right at the end of the movie. So they spent the movie on the special effects, on elaborate stunts. It's the main character, Gosling, is a stuntman, oddly enough. So there you are.
Yeah, and just looks like a really fun movie. Just a fun.
It checks all the boxes. It's be a good date film. I want to go out with your favorite person and see a movie that's going to cover all those bases. It's a comedy, a ton of action in this,
and true love. And any movie that has true love has got my vote.
Wow, I didn't know you were such the romantic.
Yeah, where'd I get that?
You didn't know you were one either.
There's oh, I think it's from Princess Bride.
Oh,
This is true love. Do you think this happens every day?
Princess Bride, amazing movie.
Yep.
But Fall Guy, yeah, and Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling has.
Boy, he's on a roll this
He
week,
is,
isn't he?
He's on top of it right now, yeah.
Yep.
Wow, yeah, this week, yeah, this like the
Last
last
year.
what, last year
There
or
was
so.
Barbie last year.
Barbie movie, a big one, and just a real solid. I think he's a solid actor.
It's kind of peeking out right now, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So that one, oh man,
Well, I say, and Emily Blunt also.
Emily Blunt, yeah.
Just both of them.
yes, both very
Yeah,
solid.
Gosling's got 3 Academy Award nominations, but he's never won.
Wow. So
I
another.
don't think this is the kind of a movie that he's gonna get another one. But
No, but I think it will be a movie that makes money and people enjoy. That's the main thing, that people enjoy. They go see.
Movies are an entertainment medium.
Mhm.
So if you're entertained, then by golly, the movie has done its job.
This has been traditionally over the last 20, 30 years on this first Friday of May
Mhm.
is when Hollywood kicks it off. They start throwing out
Gotcha.
these big films and yeah, this is, like you said, this is the season. We're Planet of the Apes next week.
Wow.
If Kaminsky, Emily Blunt's husband, but
Mhm.
Ryan Reynolds, another kind of a kids action type thing.
Mhm.
We got Furiosa and Garfield at the end of the month, so
Furiosa,
yeah,
that's
they're to start.
right.
The movies will start rolling here for the next few months.
That's right. And Furiosa has one of your favorite actresses.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy, yeah.
Holy smokes.
Okay, we better not go down that road. We'll never get Andy back. So another movie that is
It's
doing.
too bad we only have a half an hour. I think I could talk for a half an hour about Anya Taylor-Joy's brief career.
Another movie that's doing really well at the theaters, Unsung Hero.
So here, been our #1 picture.
Wow, and that is rated PG, showtimes 12:30, 3:30, 6:30. Have you?
I haven't seen it
You
yet.
haven't seen
Nope.
this one yet. So what is this one about though? Give us the gist.
Isn't this one with Richardson?
No. This is, I believe, the one about the band. Isn't it the band?
Oh, the
Family?
Australian family.
Australian family.
Yeah, Australian family, and it's a big family,
Uh-huh.
lots of kids, and they moved to the US and they made an error someplace in their planning and ended up in the US with no money. So
They start singing.
well, yeah, they start doing everything they could, and
Mhm.
singing, I guess, is what caught on.
Mhm.
But they did lawn mowing, and it's a great enterprise if you've got plenty of kids, just get them
Oh,
get them
yeah.
all lawn mowers,
Yeah,
turn them loose in the suburbs.
Yard maintenance service, I tell you.
Yeah, these are the guys who did Jesus Revolution. Some of these is a faith film.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, based on a remarkable true story, a mom's faith stands against all odds and inspires her husband and children to hold on to theirs. They go from down under to, it says, a journey from down under to center stage. So, yeah, unsung hero. But that one,
From down under to up here.
yeah.
I had the hardest time figuring out how people in Australia weren't standing on their heads.
You figured it out though, huh?
Eventually, yeah.
Unsung hero, what
Because
would,
the earth is flat.
wow,
Ah.
this is a good example here. Their audience ratings, what would you guess, audience ratings on Unsung Hero?
91.
82.
99. 99. 500 plus verified ratings, so not, in the thousands, but 99% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes. And then you have those snooty critics, Andy. Those snooty critics.
Oh,
What do you think? What do you think?
71.
71?
61.
63.
Whoa.
Wow. How dare they? I mean, the audience, 99%, and they're like, no, you're wrong, 63.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
wow.
Except for me.
You were not one of those snooty critics.
No, the critics, I think, largely write for the benefit of other critics.
Mhm.
And they can say, oh, look, I'm snarkier than that guy in the Times.
So you know your title, I believe I have the perfect title for you. You are the people's critic.
Oh, I like that.
Don't you like that?
I
The people's
do.
critic.
How about the emperor of people's critics?
Now you're going a little too far. You're going- That's what a critic would call themselves, Andy. So no.
Like you said, it's kind of a weird thing, but with these faith films, it does seem strange because they very much tie into horror movies. You know, as far as the business end of this, where you have a lower budget, but you're putting out a message that you know, specific people want to go see that. And that's why Unsung Hero, you're seeing this, you know, people are going to go see Unsung Hero, want to go see Unsung Hero for the message that's there, and they're going to, you know, give those, same thing with a horror movie. A lot of people don't like horror movies, you know, but the people that do are passionate about it, and they're going to give those, you know, high scores, but you're going to see the critics kind of
Yeah, not so
leaning
much.
away from that, yeah.
Well, then that leads into the next movie playing, which I believe is a horror movie, Tarot.
Yeah, just opening up today, yes.
Oh, is that
Okay.
opening today?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, we had Sony kind of forgot us, and we got in there at the last moment.
They just forgot you, huh?
Forgot us, yeah, happens
yeah.
sometimes.
So this one, your fate is in the cards.
Okay.
When a group of friends recklessly, of course recklessly, violates the sacred rule of tarot readings, they unknowingly unleash an unspeakable evil trapped within the cursed cards. Not just regular cards, cursed cards.
Ah.
One by one, they come face to face with fate and end up in a race against death.
Well, they're gonna lose.
Yeah, how do you win that one?
No?
This one is a PG-13, Jeff. They
Wow,
kept this
so-
at, yeah, not, they didn't go with the R rating on this, so it's more of
Okay.
a, you know, more of the jump scares and stuff. You're not gonna have a, it's not,
Like
it's not a thrasher,
yeah,
yeah, not a
gore,
thrasher film.
thrash,
Yeah.
Slasher.
Slasher,
Slasher.
slasher,
Slasher, thrasher. Yeah, so rated PG, like you said, and showtime's 1:30, 4:30, 7:30.
And what production company made this?
This is,
I will
actually it's
look
coming
that
through
up.
Sony. Yeah,
Okay.
Sony, so it's not I don't think it's a Blumhouse.
No.
No,
She seems to
let's
have
see.
the market on these horror films.
Well, Blumhouse is very, very good at making horror movies that people want to
It
go
is,
see.
Sure.
They're consistently profitable,
Spencer Cohen is the director.
whoever he is.
Yes, and boy, it doesn't say producer, Andrew Pfeffer, Scott Strauss, distributor, Sony, Screen Gems, production company, Alloy Entertainment, and Capstone Pictures. Capstone's a bigger one, I think.
Yeah, me and Andy were talking about this a little before the show, and kind of what we're seeing with the, you know, with the streaming service now and everything is a lot of these movies are being put out by smaller distribution companies.
Gotcha.
Which really, it's makes my life a little more difficult because you gotta try to track them down. And sometimes these guys are around for one or two movies and they're gone.
Yeah. And they're not big, like they, you know, have a nice opulent office in Hollywood. Nuh-uh. They're working out of a van someplace, so sometimes it's hard to get a hold of
The
them.
office is probably smaller than this one. Yeah.
Well, and the budget on this one, it says $8 million.
See, there you are.
And
$8
see, that's that formula. They're gonna
And we've
make
got, you know, there's 330 potential moviegoers in the United States, never mind worldwide. So, you know, clawing back a profit with an $8 million movie is not that big a stretch.
No, they'll do that this
I mean,
weekend.
if it's any good whatsoever.
And one of the other things too, this is kind of some of the strategy end of releasing films. Everyone's gonna go see Fall Guy this weekend. I mean, Fall Guy's clearly gonna be the #1 picture. Looking, you know, probably 60, 70 million this weekend on Fall Guy. But what happens is if you're going to the movie to see Fall Guy and it's sold out, well, all right, I guess, Tarot, what's this? We'll go see Tarot instead. So you get some of that overflow from a big movie. So that's kind of a strategy, is to put your movie that might not be so big next to a really big film so you catch.
Gotcha. Where if there isn't that big movie to draw a lot of people moviegoers to the theater, then maybe people just don't go.
Right,
Because
yes.
they look and, okay.
But once I'm in the door and I've got my bag of popcorn, I'm not leaving.
You're staying, you're committed.
That's right.
That's funny. Yeah, not too much on this, but, yeah, it, sounds interesting, you
Yeah,
know?
it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Do you have to
Yeah.
pay extra for cursed cards?
No, they just, stumbled upon them, you know, luckily just, you know, it was their good fortune.
No, that was old. Well, that was the Evil Dead. That whole franchise, we're on what, Evil Dead 5 now, I think. And they stumbled across a book in an old cabin.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they read from it.
Oh,
Don't
well,
do that.
no, come on.
If I have a book laced with human skin, especially, just stay away from those.
Oh, that's not the kind of book I want to find.
Yeah.
No, not checking that out of the library. Anyway, another movie playing, still in the theater, is Civil War, rated R.
And this was quite a good movie. I was completely surprised by this one. It's not at all what I expected.
Uh-huh.
There's virtually no political stuff at all,
Mhm.
and I expected that this would be either a right-wing or a left-wing diatribe against the other, but yeah, it's about how war sucks, and it's don't get involved in it, just don't have them. You know, this kind of the message I got.
This is one of those weird ones, too. I've had a lot of people that love this movie and some didn't like it at all.
Wow, huh.
I think the people that didn't like it at all are the ones that didn't see it.
Well, you know, you definitely kind of have some expectations, I think, going into it. But
Yeah. Well, here you go. Do you think critics or the audience rated this film higher? Which one?
Audience.
The audience, you think rated it higher? How about you?
you know, almost even.
About even?
Yeah.
Actually, critics, 81% critics, 71 audience. So I can see where, you know, you said
Not too
kind of
bad,
that,
not too
you
bad.
know, I hate it, I loved it, you know, type deal. But critics, that's surprising, you know, 81%.
That is surprising.
You know, you kind of look at these, this A24 film that released this thing, they kind of have a track record of solid films. And they're always kind of like along this, you know, just a little controversial maybe. They did a lot of horror films too, Hereditary, The Witch, Midsommar. And some of these pictures they make, they're almost always, you know, rated very high by the critics. And they're almost always just kind of over the top in some way. If you haven't seen Hereditary, if you like horror, so good, so good, and just really disturbing though too. I mean, really disturbing, sometimes brutal horror that they throw into these things. But always well done though. I love A24 films. They're just
Yeah.
that they're, you know, taking on these projects and putting them out there. Because really, there's no other. Some of these movies I don't think the big studios would even make. But what these guys do them, they do them well.
Now, for, you know, the big studios have to make enormous movies, otherwise it doesn't do any good. You know, you make a $5 million movie and it has an enormous success and makes 15 million. That doesn't move the needle for a big studio.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. No,
You know,
exactly.
they've got to do something that's going to do $500 million in order to impact their bottom line.
That was Angel Studios with Sound of Freedom last year. Angel Studios now is, I don't want to call them a major, but they've definitely stepped up, you know, stepped their game up as one of the major distributors.
Yeah, and who did Fireproof?
Oh, Fireproof, that was not Angel, who was before that? Pureflix, I think.
Pureflix, they were,
It's
yeah.
Pureflix.
And I think it was after Fireproof that I saw an interview with the owners of Pureflix, and they said it was so successful that the next movie that they make, they're gonna be able to build their own sets. And that's, you know,
And that's Kendrick, the Kendrick brothers.
He did some with them, yeah.
Alex and Stephen
And you know,
Kendrick.
Pureflix was, I haven't really heard that directly since COVID. I don't know how they came through that, you know, if Pureflix made it, or if they didn't, or
might have squished them.
if they, yeah, well, yeah.
Because I haven't heard from them, you're right, I haven't heard
No,
from
no,
them.
and they might have maybe sold to another studio, or I don't know if Angel Studios kind of absorbed them, or what, I have to check that out. It's kind of interesting to see just where they did go to.
So Civil War is rated R.
Yes.
And showtimes 12:15, 3:15, and 6:15. Then another, well, a good movie that I've heard people coming out of saying they really enjoyed it. I actually see what your rating was. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Have you seen that one?
Yes, I have.
And-
I'm a big Guy Ritchie fan.
Mhm.
Guy Ritchie's the director. They had a good cast. They had a brilliant director, and it just didn't quite get there.
Oh, wow,
You know,
okay.
it was a regular movie,
Okay.
and nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was looking for something that was just gonna blow my head off, and no, didn't get there, didn't
Gotcha.
get that far.
So you had, probably your expectations were set pretty high.
Yeah.
Because of the cast, director, and just,
Yeah, I wanted more manic nonsense, like you often get in Guy Ritchie movies.
Yeah, everyone, please note on that, that is at 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock starting today.
Okay.
So those times changed from last week. So 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock only on Ministry.
Still, well worth it, and Guy Ritchie completists will have to see it because that's what we do.
Yeah. You just can't ignore it. You can
No.
not go see it.
You
That's
cannot go see it.
That's
yeah.
that's
And
not an
how's it
option.
doing? It's got a number for us, or?
You know, let me look that up here because I'm not sure. And Craig, what have the pacing moviegoers been
Yeah,
telling you?
it's done all right. I
Mhm.
think, yeah, Andy probably nailed it there. It's an okay movie. It maybe didn't quite get there to where you're gonna get the crowd for this thing.
Mhm. Well, here we go. Audience score. What would you say then?
75.
75?
Take my number. 80.
92.
Oh.
92. That's over
I'm out of
500.
sync with the public.
But
It's all those Henry
you were-
Cavill fans out there.
But you were right in line with the critics, 71. 71 from the critics, but, so maybe the critics felt that way, you know, where they had these expectations. And it
Yeah,
just-
did you see Snatch?
Boy, I don't.
Brad Pitt. If you'd seen it, you'd remember it. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've seen
Yeah.
it, you'd remember. But Brad, that's a Guy Ritchie, one of Guy Ritchie's early movies, and Brad Pitt plays a gypsy pugilist.
Mm-hmm.
And there is not one word that he speaks in the movie that you can understand because his Cockney accent is so thick. And it's just, I mean, it's every frame, every line of dialogue is just brilliant.
And Jason Statham.
Such-
That
and-
one,
Yeah, at one
I
point-
think that's Jason Statham's first movie, I believe.
Wow, that one, 93% audience score on that.
Yeah, I mean, just a
But-
Just
wonderful
a
movie.
little thing, that at one point this dog swallows a squeaky toy.
Uh-huh.
So for the rest of the movie, every time he barks, he squeaks. It's just,
Oh, boy.
it's just great. I mean, just,
Yeah,
it's just
I
a
mean-
little part of the movie, but it just,
So that's illegal boxing promoter, Turkish Jason Statham. So he's illegal boxing promoter, and bets on bare knuckle boxer Mikey, who's Brad Pitt. Yeah, that one similar scores, a lot more reviews though, so over 250,000
Whoa.
ratings on Rotten Tomatoes from the
Well, that
audience.
was like 30 years ago, too.
2000. So yeah,
Oh,
24.
okay.
Yeah, 24 years
it was
ago.
30 years ago.
Yeah, it's
Seems like only yesterday.
2001. So I'm sorry, 2001.
24 years into a new century already.
Yeah. So again,
Now it's the old century.
the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, only 2 showtimes, 4 and 7 o'clock.
And in this one, if you like to see movies where there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of Nazis that get shot,
Mhm.
this is your flick.
You get your money's worth?
You sure do.
All right.
It works out to like about 3 cents a dead Nazi.
Well, that's a bargain. There you go. So another movie showing in theaters here, the Sawmill Theaters, Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire.
That was good.
Woohoo!
1 o'clock only on Ghostbusters.
1 o'clock only, PG-13.
And people ought to see this before it goes away.
Gotcha. You gave it a woo woo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I liked it. We've got a new crew of Ghostbusters.
Uh-huh.
They're the grandchildren of of one of the original Ghostbusters.
Nice.
And they're into it.
Uh-huh.
You know, the like 15-year-old girl says, "Yeah, I'm a Ghostbuster. That's what I do. I bust guts." You know?
Wow, she's not, you know, taking anything from.
Oh no, she's not. No prisoners. It's very well done. It's ranks up there with the first two Ghostbusters, I think, in the quality of the film and
Wow.
how entertaining it is.
Wow, and that one, again, only at 1 o'clock showtime?
1 o'clock only now.
1 o'clock showtime only, rated PG-13.
And all of our pals, the ones that are still alive from the original Ghostbusters, come back.
Nice. Well, that makes it for a fun.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
fun.
they don't do much, but you know, they are
But they
in
have
the
a
movie.
presence.
Yeah.
And the last movie showing is, let me see,
One
Alien,
go.
right? Or
Yep.
Star Wars Phantom Menace?
Phantom Menace, yeah, Phantom
Gotcha.
Menace starting today. See, what do we get? 12:45, 3:45, 6:45.
There you go, Star Wars Phantom Menace.
Yeah, so you had 25th anniversary on that one.
Whoa,
Yeah.
25 years.
This is episode 1. I
Episode
believe.
1, yeah, this is a Darth Maul one. A chance to see this up on the big screen again, which is obviously where Star Wars needs to be played.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a 1 week only, so we'll just have that for a week.
Yeah, they're doing a bunch of these, aren't they? Anniversary movies. I think the Mummy is coming out.
Well, we just finished up Alien. That was
Yeah,
Alien,
we just finished up
that's right.
Alien.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a 45. Yeah, the Mummy's out there right now. Yeah, they're kind of doing a lot of these. We've got Lord of the Rings. They just extended versions on that. Like, oh,
How could you have an extended
no,
version
some
of
movies you
that?
can't.
Gee,
Or
Christmas,
should have
you have to bring a
extended.
hammock.
Yes, yeah.
Wow. So Star Wars Phantom Menace. And,
Boy, that'd be fun to see that again, wouldn't it?
oh, yeah, yeah.
Is this have Natalie Portman
Yes, yes.
as the
Yep,
Queen
Queen Amidala.
Amidala?
Yeah, that's the one that first
Oh, yeah.
introduces her. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And young Anakin Skywalker.
Mhm.
Ewan McGregor as a young Obi-Wan.
Yes.
Liam Neeson. Yeah, it's
I thought this was a good movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know, for Star Wars, I mean, it made its money and everything, but some people are kind of panning it.
yeah. You know what? The ratings, I was surprised. You know, like the ratings are lower than I expected on this. So yeah, they're kind of critical of this one, huh?
Well,
But and this is the one where you said young Anakin is introduced, like
Yeah.
where he's on the planet, he's a little slave
Little kid, yeah,
child,
yeah, yes.
and he's racing.
yeah.
Yeah. You saw it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, but it was and Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar.
That's right, Jar Jar. Forgot about
Well,
him.
and Jar Jar is a big. Star Wars fans are kind of touchy about things too. you know,
Oh, okay.
And then Jar Jar was not greeted with the most
What?
high scores. Well, some people
Really?
like Jar Jar, and some people did not like Jar Jar.
He was entertaining.
I mean, I
I
like
thought
the
better.
Darth Maul character. I thought was great.
Uh huh.
But yeah, no, Jar Jar was not kind of like the Ewoks. Some people did not like those Ewoks.
Really?
What?
No,
You're
no.
kidding me.
Too cute.
Wait,
Too cute.
who are these people? You know them? You didn't? Is it you? Is it you?
I didn't hate the
This is a
Ewoks. They
safe
were, I
place.
don't know. Yeah, I didn't.
I mean,
hate the
compared
Ewoks.
to Chewbacca's, a Chewbacca was, you know, is much more likable. But the Ewoks, they were entertaining.
Yeah,
because-
they were cute.
Now, all the Ewok spin-off movies they made, that was too much. That went too far. But
Disney is just, I don't know. I don't like what Disney's doing with the whole Star Wars thing. They just,
Hmm.
well, I don't like Disney Plus to begin with, but yeah, and they're just doing all these spin-offs and throwing it on to Disney Plus, and it's just a gluttony of Star Wars.
Hmm.
It's too many. It takes the edge off of it.
yeah,
You know, if you're just cranking them out.
they're not as special.
Yeah. Yes.
Just
Exactly.
not as-
It was good.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
now I'll never forget this December. A new Star Wars movie, Rogue Squadron, I think is the next one they got coming out.
Hmm.
I don't know if they're gonna get it out this year or 2025.
Hmm.
But
Gotcha.
yeah, we have to see on that.
Weren't we set up to get in alternate years Avatar
Avatar and
then-
Star Wars.
And Star Wars.
Well, and see, that was, well, a lot of things, you know, we had some strikes and things too that kind
Yeah.
of slowed all
Threw the
that
rhythm
down.
off.
Yeah.
Threw that down. But I think Disney intentionally kind of held off on another Star Wars movie. It was, they did Rogue One, and then they did another Star Wars, didn't they? Or Han Solo, they put, one year they put out 2
Solo.
Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like.
It didn't go.
Yeah, and it was like, it's too much Star Wars.
Yeah,
And again, that's why I don't like this Disney Plus, it's just this
yeah,
constant roll of Star Wars.
It's hard to maintain the quality too, when you're putting out, 3 or 4 movies, Star Wars movies a year for your
Yeah.
streaming service.
yeah. Mm.
You know, the series, and I don't like it. I think it's just, it's diluting the product.
There we go.
Diluting the product. You know, there's a time and a place for streaming. I'm not against streaming.
I am.
Star Wars. Well, Star Wars isn't.
I am.
Well, Star Wars is not someplace you should be streaming. It's,
No, and what's your director lady that said some movies you have to see on the big screen?
Well, actually, that was Patty Sneed.
Patty Sneed.
But was it Patty Sneed? Patty. Wait, no, maybe not.
Patty somebody.
Yeah, she directed Wonder Woman, and she's the one directing Rogue Squadron.
Oh,
Or
well.
supposed to be. I don't know if they kicked her out for what, but that was some of the problem they had there with the new Star Wars movie. It was the director, Patty. Wonder Woman. She did Wonder Woman, 1984.
Wonder Woman, 1984 director. Let's see. All right. 1984 director Patty Jenkins.
Jenkins,
there
there we
Patty
go.
Jenkins. Huh. Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, again, Star Wars Phantom Menace.
And if you
Playing.
go far enough into the future,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna see that Jar Jar
Mm-hmm.
Binks is a descendant of Patty Jenkins. Because over the next 1,000 years, the name is gonna be modified somewhat.
Really? Okay. Like, what you talking about, Willis? Anyway, Phantom Menace, showtimes on that 12:45, 3:45, 6:45, rated PG. All right.
PG, really?
There it is, yeah. So, all right, hey, get to the movies. And,
Yep.
That's
thank
good
you-
stuff.
Thank you, guys.
Tis the season.
Tis the season. Well, time to get back to the music with some Billy Idol, the Romantics, and the Psychedelic Furs. But
Ooh, I
first,
haven't heard the Psychedelic Furs in years.
I know, that's the 80s grouping right there. But first, a little quick update from the National Weather Service.
All right.
Well, that's the fastest